璧にあの空へ巻いた情さえ嫉妬するほど優雅に怪しく君しかない武器で原因不明の熱がある飛び立てる羽もないくせに器用なはずの手も足も服を着る恋のインフェクション咎められる秘密に目を閉ざす深淵で光が目を焼くほど脈打つ態度張り巡らした虚言で色かめくはないなって誘い込めと呼んでる君に背びスパイダーズプレ川の流れ右へのライン操られてるが向こう岸に咲く花さえその手からこぼした今日さえきっと疲れない逆らえ抗え君しかない武器へ根拠もない向かうみたい美しいだけなら汚して土まみれ笑ってやれさあこっちの水は甘いぜ恋はずらる空へと怖くする牙向いて心の奥確かに輝く太陽価値観の壁越えてさ向こうでは思い通りさ運命の糸手繰り寄せ君に染まれスパイダーズブレイ深淵で光が目を焼くほど脈打つ態度張り巡らした虚言で色かめくはないなって誘い込めと呼んでる君に背びスパイダーズプレThat's when we can start. Do you believe we'll do it?
where we go. Just wanna stay with you all the time. We can rise to raise the sky. There will be a lovely world. Let it be your fantasy. Now you can break it and take it to me. Shiny starlight with me.
so sure. So great to know into darkness, yeah. So much I want to do. Like a moment, no, I just say now. Let's make a promise tonight. It's like a burning hurt if you forgive me. Baby, go with me, not crazy for love. Let me take away, wanna be your man. Don't you know my heart is beating when you let it down? I wanna wait you now, it is a great chance. Giving me the ground all the life. Come baby, I say to you it's alright. For is here. Worshippers gather in fear. Lock yourselves in for the night. I'm off to go make things right. Miles and miles away. Aim through the blood of the fray. Torn between hell and the sky. Never for vengeance go I. Hellfire, nipping at Achilles' heels. I kill, so you know exactly how it feels. Nothing gonna stop me till I take you down. You'll see me, but you'll never hear a sound. You tear my home apart and I'll get you. And you're I'm a power you've not seen before. Where do you go when you die in hell? I guess when I get to you, time will tell. Cast demons, angels aside. Torn them apart far and wide. The indestructible few. What then will happen to you? Hellfire, nipping at Achilles' heels. I kill, so you know exactly how it feels. Nothing gonna stop me till I take you down. You'll see me, but you'll never hear a sound. Miles away, paved through the blood of the fray, torn between hell and the sky. There but for vengeance go I. Cast demons, angels aside, torn them apart far and wide. The indestructible few. What then will happen to you? Hellfire, nipping at Achilles' heels. I kill, so you know exactly how it feels. Nothing gonna stop me till I take you down. You'll see me, but you'll never hear a sound. You tear my home apart and I'll get you. And you're not a power you've not seen before. Where do you go when you die in hell? I guess when I get to you, time will tell.
by repressing the drift key. What happens is that the effect from the air drift is extended while I'm going on the ground. So you get all the beneficial effects from every technique that we discussed before. We have the slide state, which allows you to maintain more speed while going through corners. We have the air drift advantage, which is basically we keep accelerating even while going through the ground, so I don't need to be in the air while still getting the acceleration from the air drift. And I have the sharper drift controls from drift mode. So all the beneficial
Allowing you to
effects are
corner
combined
better.
into one effect.
Indeed. See the power, Chad. The power.
And watch the speedometer as I am as I'm sliding on the ground. It's still accelerating. You see, if I land, it's still accelerating, still accelerating.
And again, to be clear, this is using, this is jumping while doing this. That's kind of enabling this effect. Because
I'm
you are
only jumping, there's no boosting.
going into the air. You can see the endurance is not being used here, guys, right? Look at the endurance there. It's not used. The boost is not enabled. Okay? All this is using a weird gimmick with being in the air. Ooh.
You can also slow down a bit, right? So if you bonk into something but you have still some speed, you can just quickly do some air drift and you can catch back up.
Yeah, this is a very powerful tool to regain any lost speed then. Very handy in that case.
Exactly.
So you're never going to be stuck at a really, really slow speed, and you won't ever get stuck at 33 without a boost link because there's no reason to. You can use the air jump.
Boosting in a straight line is slower than this, right? You don't even want to use your boosts. Although we're gonna come to that as well in a second, right? There's actually a reason to still use a boost, but that's the next part basically. Very good question from the Global Legend. You want to disable boost from using space because in the standard keybind setup, boosting is the same as jumping, right? You press spacebar to boost. And you definitely do not want this. So what you have to do is go to options, scroll all the way down here, and there's a section in the general options, right? Called mounts. And you need to check this box, disable conditional mount movement ability. This has to be checked. And this way you can use your spacebar freely. And in general, for keybinds, if you want to do this technique, it's very useful to have your keybinds accessible easily, because if you have difficulty with pressing both your drift keys and your jump keys at the same time, then it's gonna complicate applying this technique a lot.
Yep.
So what I have is actually have my jump key on my mouse side button, and my drift keys on my keyboard, so I can just control those with my two hands essentially, and I can separately control it without congesting my left hand too much.
All right, so what we have to do here is we have to drift. That's okay, and we have to jump at the same time. All right. So let's see if we can make this work.
You can only drift if you can only jump if you're drifting. You cannot jump while you're sliding. Another difference between the two control modes.
But you can't jump while sliding, or it will just
exactly. You cannot jump while sliding.
It won't let the game won't let you, or it will like
the game won't let you.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, the game
so
just says no.
Yeah, it has to be just jumping then. So I have to jump. So yeah, out of the way. If I just kind of go around in a big circle like this, and hang on a minute. Let's get a little warm up here, guys. So if I just start drifting, then I need to start jumping, right? What's the order of input?
So it is well, the whole order of input is turn your camera and start drifting by using A and D, A or D.
Okay.
And while you're holding the drift key,
yep,
press jump.
Yep.
Keep turning your camera gradually, right? Slightly. It cannot be too sharp, it cannot be too soft.
Okay.
Or either you go too far and you lose speed, or you stop drifting and you lose all speed.
Okay. So I have to have a beetle angle at around 40 degrees, right? That's kind of what the number we're looking for here?
Exactly.
Okay. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do, gamers. Let's have a bit of a go. What does the camera angle have to look like to make this work? Because it's to do with the camera, right? Like what's going on there? What do I have to do there?
Let me try a couple things.
Because I see the camera angle here. What should I be looking at that, having that at?
I mean, the camera angle thing on the speedometer itself, it
Yeah.
shouldn't go further than 20 degrees.
No,
right?
okay. Yeah. Wait, no further than 20.
Yeah, it's very tight. I
Okay.
also want to
Oh yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
emphasize how useful the speedometer is for this, right? Because you might not always notice it when you do it, if the effect is very slight, right? But the speedometer will say.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, you'll be able to see, especially if you, well, when you're first trying to do it, it's probably not going to be that great. But then as you keep doing it, then you'll see some value out of that. So if I want to do loads of these things in a row, how do I do that? I have to continuously like press the drift key as well.
Yeah, so one release and repress per chain ATS.
Oh god, fucking hell, lads, that's gonna be fucking spicy. Holy shit. All right, after landing, you need to repress the drift key to jump again. Oh, I see, I understand. Okay, so it will only let you it will only let you jump once. So you have to
Yeah, so turning the camera is before you jump essentially. You need to start
Okay.
turning the camera and then jump.
Okay, wait. Turn the camera as you're jumping. Once you get a feel for it, you feel the speed. Okay, so wait. I need to turn it as I jump or before I jump? So I have to turn, then
As you're
jump?
jumping.
Okay, as I'm jumping. So at the same time?
Yeah, well, yeah, you need to be turning the camera as you're jumping. So notice how your camera movement is smaller now, right?
Yeah.
And more consistent. Shall
Just a little
I
bit.
just briefly demonstrate it again how the ACS works a little bit as a reference for things maybe you can notice now that you have tried it a bit?
Yeah, sure. Let's go. I'm going on. I'm looking at the stream. I'm on the stream. Let's go.
All right, let's go.
Let's go. Look at
So
the
very
speed.
nice, constant turn rates.
Yep. Look at that. 43 angle on the Beetle exactly. Camera 14 degrees. Look at the speed. Professional races, professional speed gaming. Love to see it. Okay. Should we move on to some other techniques? Some other advanced techniques?
Absolutely. I
Let's
think
go.
you know we've explained this technique now a bit. We kind of understand, well, maybe not why exactly it works, but how you do it and how you can reproduce it. And you know, people should, if they want to compete and they want to use this, you should just really keep practicing until you get the muscle memory down.
Yep.
And now it's time to go on for the next
Here we go.
technique. So we go back to the core PowerPoint. Angle limit management.
Whoa. What is this? What is going on here? I see
When you move the
theta.
speedometer out of the way.
Yeah, I'm moving myself out of the way as well. I see theta. I see beetle face direction. Beetle angle. Optimal between 43 and 47 degrees. It's a tight window. It's a tight window.
Yeah. So what you see here is on the right, the graph with the data points. It's a collection of data from the logs that are generated by the speedometer.
Yep.
So what we can do is we can plot the angle of the beetle against the speed, what we saw earlier as well with the air drift graphs. And as it turns out, there's like this curve, right, where we have the maximum speed being between 43 and 47 degrees. And every day, the Mad Dog in the chat, she discovered that, or she had the idea that maybe it's related to the fact that there is a speed limiter on the game,
Yep.
and the fact that you drift with the beetle at an angle. So what the game actually does is it applies a speed limit to the beetle in the direction that the beetle is facing. And you can see here the
Oh, yeah.
little beetle mount
Yeah,
here
yeah,
in the diagram, it's facing this way, right? So
Yeah,
the game
exactly.
says, okay, the speed limit in this direction is 1800 units per second, or 100 on the speedometer. But the direction that you're actually going in is this direction.
Is the hypotenuse of the triangle. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's the relation
so you
to
can
the angle.
calculate the
Yeah.
distance.
Yeah.
You can calculate the length of this vector by applying the formula, the y, or the
Yeah, y.
maximum speed is the length of this vector, so 99 on the speedometer, divided by the cosine of the beetle angle.
That's big.
And that will give you this graph here. And so what I mean by angle limit management is that basically what you want to do while you are applying the techniques, you want to maintain the beetle angle between 43 and 47 degrees to maintain that optimum speed. And this is really where you get to the next level, right, with beetle racing, because this is not easy, right? This is a very small
4 degrees.
Small frame where you can do. Okay, next, because we don't have to demonstrate this tech, you know, it's just mathematics. But what we can practice is drift hold.
Okay.
So this is also a bit related, right, to the graph we just saw. So if you go back one slide, at 0 degrees, right, the speed limit is just 100. There's no way to go over it if you're not drifting. So what happens if you apply a technique that brings you over 100 speed, and then you want to change the direction of the beetle? You have to pass the 0 degrees again. You will lose all that valuable overspeed that you just generated.
Unlucky.
You don't want to do that, right? So for swapping direction, unfortunately, there's no way to maintain that speed. But you can still go in a straight line, more or less, and maintain a lot of that overspeed that you generated with the special tech. And this is called drift holding. And I wouldn't say that this is kind of any kind of broken technique, right? Because you're not really breaking the game, you're not really applying any bugs. All you're doing with the drift hold is you're maintaining a drift. You're not going straight anymore, so you can maintain the overspeed that you just generated. So you're not finding magical acceleration, but you kind of maintain the speed that you found.
Okay.
And just a very short demonstration.
Let's
with
go.
The speedometer. I'll bring it back.
Boom.
So I'm just gonna do some ACS and then I'll try to maintain the speed, right? So here we go. I'm making the speed. I'm generating overspeed, and now I'm just going in a straight line.
With 110.
I'm still keeping that speed over 110. So you can imagine that if you go on a racetrack and it has a bunch of curves and then a long straight, this is a very powerful technique. In fact, I would say that the drift hold is the most broken of all techniques in a certain way, because when we learned doing drift holds, that was shaving off seconds from our time trial records, right? Like the ACS was good, you know, we found acceleration, the hyperboost was good, we found crazy speeds, right? But this technique really was what made the difference, right? Because we can now carry through all this extra speed throughout the whole track.
Okay.
And that's really big.
So what are you actually doing here? What are you doing input-wise right now? So, you know, you build up the
just
speed and then you do what? What are you doing here?
Yeah, if we go back to the basic mechanics, right?
Yep.
So the 3 drift control modes.
Uh-huh.
There's normal mode, there's drift mode, and there's slide mode. I'm just drift sliding here, right? As you would in any other scenario where you need to apply drift sliding. I'm just drift sliding, but I'm just keeping my camera more or less straight. Like very, very, very gentle turn here if I'm going straight, because if you don't turn your camera while doing this, you will just drop out of
You'll just drop out of the drift. Yeah, yeah.
So a very, very gentle turn, but otherwise I'm just drift sliding, nothing else.
Okay. Well, there it is. The speed is maintained.
Yes. So if you want, we can practice this a little bit, but I feel it kind of speaks for itself. But if you want, you can try it for a bit.
Okay. Keeping the drift shallow to maintain forward motion. Essentially, yeah, it's just going in a straight line with a teeny tiny little turn. A little turn, and you won't lose your speed. So if you've got over the speed limit, you can stay over the speed limit or stay at a very high speed by going in a straight line and just drifting a tiny bit all in the same line. That's how it is.
Track optimization. This is we're talking in terms of advanced mechanics here, because that's, I think, what's when you've mastered the advanced mechanics, that's when this kind of stuff becomes really advanced or really relevant. But you know, once you've mastered those, you need to start thinking about racing lines, and you need to start thinking about, okay, how do I tie all these techniques together into one lap that makes sense, right? And makes sense in the sense that you travel the shortest distance with the highest average speed. That's really what track optimization comes down to, and that might sound a little bit, you know, obvious, you know, a bit forehead. Okay, yeah, you need to travel the shortest distance, right, and as fast as possible. But there's a bit of finesse to this. So take for instance these two lines here that I've drawn on the screen here.
Yep.
So there's a green line and a red line, right? And one of them is faster, and it's the green line. So you're going in this direction. Into this U-turn, and if you do it like this, it's faster than the red line. Even though on the red line you start on the inside. This is because in this line you actually take the corner on the apex of the corner. And you can do that only if you go a bit wide on the start and then start turning early, so you can take the shortest route. But also, the this corner is a bit wider than this one. This actually allows you to make a very nice and consistent ACS drift all the way throughout it. And not only will this give you a shorter travel distance, but it will also give you a higher speed when you exit the corner. And this kind of stuff is really important if you want to actually optimize the track. You know, you want to work down your time, your time trials a little bit, and that kind of stuff is really what makes a difference in the actual race. If you want to compete in a race and you want to be really competitive, you need to practice this stuff. You need to balance also consistency of your racing line against the risks that it has. Because if you take racing lines that are very close to the edge like this, there's also a risk that you fall off, right? And you don't want to do that. So you need to balance that. And it's just a bit of trial and error to find what works best for you. And this is why talking about the speedometer tool just now was actually really useful, because there's another function of the speedometer tool that is really good for this trial and error process. So let's go over it.
Let's do it.
And I'm gonna open a module here. It's called Launch Ghost. The Ghost module here is like a small little donut, right? What you will actually see when I cross this line here, this is where the first checkpoint is. When I cross this line here, this thing will start moving, and you can just kind of chase it around the map. And if you do something that is bad, so you have a bad racing line, or you crash into something, right? But if it's a bad racing line, or if you're not applying the techniques right, you will see that you will start falling further and further behind. And if you're doing something that is better than you noticed, then you will realize, hey, this is something that I can use in the race. This is how I can optimize the track. So you just do a bunch of these races. You race against your ghost a couple times. Every time you get a better time, you just update the ghost, and slowly start working down the time until you reach a PB that is, that is satisfactory.
Nice. Got him.
So I'm just gonna do a race here, and actually, should I start with a race? Yeah, let's start with a race.
Here we go.
I'm gonna race against the ghost. Hopefully the Discord will work.
Yeah, it's fine.
And you'll see how it works.
Yeah, we're good.
Here we go.
Here we go.
So I'm gonna start with a couple of ACSs here, just to get a little bit extra speed before we go into this U-turn. Now this first corner here is really interesting. Actually, it has a lot of optimization going for it. My ghost here, it's jumping over these gaps here, right? I'm not gonna do it here because I don't want to embarrass myself, but it's jumping over the gaps just to cut that corner a little bit extra. Here I'm doing a hyper boost, and I failed the drift hold. That's fine. Using a bottom figure here, another hyper boost is coming, and chain it directly into ACSs to keep up that speed. Try to take the inside line here. My boost is coming back up, so I'm going to go for another hyper boost. As Fedorius overtakes me. Very nice.
Speed.
And you see, I'm losing a little bit of time to my ghost, sorry, right? Because I'm just making a couple minor mistakes, but that time is actually ramping up really fast. Another hyper boost on this long straight here, trying to power surf a bit on the ramps here. Jumping over the corner, ACS into different ACS. bit of power steering here to gain a bit more speed. Jumping over this ramp, air drifting a little bit as we go over that ramp, then 180-degree ACS into another 180-degree ACS. Cutting this corner is really tight with the fountain on the left side. Sometimes you can bump into that. Going down the ramp here, and to finish off, a hyper boost into the final straight.
Boom. There it is. And a 130 time.
I might as well actually announce this right now.
Let's go.
For the future events. So
Hell yeah.
Race will be organizing monthly Beetle tournaments
Very
in
nice.
Guildhall tracks
That's
every
big.
month with open and pro brackets, and minimum 2k gold prize pool funded by me personally. For the coming, I think at least 3 months we can guarantee that.
Nice.
So if you want to get in on that, you know, you can join us. We have a Discord, Race Discord. If you're okay with that, maybe we can post a link so people can
Do it.
join up if they are interested.
Get it in there.
Also,
Get in
if
there,
you are
gamers.
joining Race Discord, we have a roles section so you can get your own roles, and we have, especially for every new racer who wants to get training, we have a Beetle Apprentice role. So if you get into Race Discord, click on the Beetle icon in the roles the roles channel to give yourself the Beetle Apprentice role, and you will get pinged to get notified for training events, etc. Corpa is over, you know, no more PowerPoints from here.
Okay.
I think that was the last bit that I wanted to discuss. You know, track optimization, just get the ghost working, I would say, and try a bunch of stuff.
Do you have any kind of final thoughts?
Hi everyone, Fastman here, also known as VAD, and today we are racing. There are a few things to note about drifting. First of all is the angle. You don't want to have a too wide angle when you drift, because it is going to make you lose speed or even stop. So you have to be mindful of that. The perfect angle that we're going to see all around this video is around 45 degrees. There are a few things to note about the control in this game. If you press the turn keys, so initially A and D, it's going to make you turn by a 33 degree angle. If you press the strafe keys, it's going to make you turn by a 23 degree angle. And the rest is going to be done with the mouse and the clicker. So keep that in mind for the moment. I'm going to come back into that later, so there is that. Another thing is how to do smooth drifts. In order to do smooth drifts, you just have to release the drift key and press it again. Just tap it periodically in order to adjust your trajectory and accompany the movement of your camera. You have to know that a normal drift has a time limit. It's about 2 seconds. Normally it should be around 1.8 seconds. Lastly, another information that is great is that when you are drifting and keeping the drift key pressed, you are filling up your boost bar faster. Now that we've seen the basics, we're going to go in depth into the new tech. We are going to start by defining what is new tech and what can you do with it. New tech is every trick that makes you go faster than the normal speed limit. In the game, you should normally attain the maximum speed of 99 speed. With those techniques, you can go up to 137 speed. We're going to see 4 new techs in this video: the power slide, the air drift, the ACS, and the hyper boost. And we're going to start with the easiest one, the power slide. A power slide is a drift on an inclined surface, with your movement vector being approximately perpendicular to the inclined surface. Since you are drifting, your beetle is facing downward, and you enter a state of permanent acceleration. To do a power slide, you have to drift on an inclined surface. Since the maximum duration of a drift is around 2 seconds, as we saw, you have to repress the drift key from time to time in order not to fall. You also have to keep in mind to turn your camera more and more if the power slide is in a turn, in order not to fall too. So, how does one gain more speed while doing a power slide? In any case, you have to accompany the movement of your beetle with your camera. This is really important. Then, you have to know that your acceleration depends on the inclination angle. So if you are on a curved ramp, as we have seen now, the higher on the ramp you go, the faster you're going to get. On the normal slash ramp, there is no difference whether you're high or low. You also have to time your grip presses wisely. It's a bit of a feeling thing, so you have to practice it a bit. We are now going to watch some footage demonstrating the difference between a good power slide, a mediocre one, and no power slide at all. As you could see, doing a good power slide can get you tons of time. But that, I hear you ask, where is it a good idea to use a power slide? Well, the answer is on any ramps. You have to consider your option and keep your trajectory in mind. The power slide is great, but its acceleration is a bit slow, so other technique or your trajectory might prevail. Okay, let's now look into the next new tech, the air drift. The air drift, as its name indicates, happens when you drift in the air. While falling or jumping, if you drift and turn your camera while in the air, you're going to gain speed instead of losing some. To do an air drift, you just have to enter a drifting state by pressing your drift key as you're going to fall or while you are falling. You also have to turn your camera and accompany the movement of your beetle with the camera. It seems simple like that, however you have to keep in mind that the camera is the most important part. Turn it too much and you're going to lose all your speed, turn it not enough and you're going to lose all your speed again. The angle to work with would be around 30 degrees to 60 degrees. Great! Now that we have the theory of it, let's see it in practice. Nice! Did you see how much speed we've gained with the air drift? Okay, so now we're going to watch a longer example to see how to control the air drift.
What the heck? That was fast as fuck, boy!
I would like to apologize for this little incident. The video seems to be taking too much on me, and I'm losing my mind. But before I do lose my mind, let's see what is to take from the air drift. So we've seen that the air drift is an amazing tool to gain speed where you should be losing some, as in fall. There is one question remaining though, where to use it, and that would be whenever there is a jump to make. If you try the air drift and it fits your trajectory, do it. Else, if it does not fit the trajectory of the track, don't bother. There are other ways to gain time during jumps that I will cover at the end of this video. We've seen the two most basic new techs so far. Now, we're going to enter the nitty-gritty, the quintessence, the cerise sur le gâteau of the new techs, the ACS. Disclaimer, this part is the longest one and the hardest one, like my no, wait. As I was saying, this part will be the longest one and the hardest one to follow, so strap on, don't lose concentration yet, as it is the one thing I want you to remember as you finish this video. The ACS stands for Air Controlled Slide, and is another way to do a drift that makes you gain a lot of speed instead of losing some. It is the center and the most important part of the new techs, as it changes the whole Beetle gameplay and makes you reach new feats. To do an ACS, you have to drift, turn your camera and jump in this order. Now, this is in theory and it's the simplest way to explain it. However, there are some things to take note. First and foremost, do not release the drift key while in the air. Do not release the drift key once you touch the ground or when you land it. A drift can last up to 1.8 seconds, so you have time. And if you want to continue the ACS, you can always release the drift key and repress it, as we're going to see later. Second of all, the angle of your camera as you touch the ground is really important, as it is for a normal drift. As we've said earlier, a 45-degree angle is the sweet spot to hit. Less is okay of course, but more means you'll drift out. Remember, the strafe keys Q and E by default makes you have a 23-degree angle, and the turn keys by default A and D makes you turn by a 33-degree angle. The rest you'll have to do with your camera. If you only use the camera, you can still do an ACS, but it will be harder since you have to turn the whole way with your hand. I highly advise you to use the turn keys as it is easier, even if it means changing your hotkeys to have a more comfortable hand layout. The third thing to keep in mind is the order of your sequencing when doing an ACS. Remember, as I've said earlier, to do an ACS you have to drift and then turn your camera and jump. Note that the time span in which you can turn your camera and jump is way shorter than the one where you can drift and turn your camera. That means that you're